Rally New South Wales is proud to present the MTA New South Wales Rally Championship, partnering with the Motor Traders Association. This is our 2018 season review. The Caves Classic kicks off the season, followed by a trip south of the border to Meadow Mountain. We'll then head north to the top of the state for the Border Rangers Rally, and then to the south coast for a very dusty Rally of the Bay. Bathurst would be the destination for round 5, and then we'll head to Kuma for a very wet Monaro stages. 6 rounds made up the season, so sit back and relax as we bring you the 2018 MTA New South Wales Rally Championship Season Review. The township of Oberon hosted the first round of the championship, the Singleton Automotive Caves Classic Rally. There were plenty of familiar faces, many back for another attempt at taking the title, including JJ Hatton.
I won't lie, my goal is to win it outright. That's very cocky. There's a lot of fast drivers here, a lot faster than me, but you know, if you don't go in with the goal of winning the whole thing, what's the point, you know what I mean? I'm either all in or I'm all out.
Out in the forest, it was a good start for Glenn Brinkman and Harvey Smith, who were back competing after a long absence from driving. They took the first stage win in their Lancer Evo, but by the end of the heat, they'd be relegated down to 6th place after dropping 25 seconds with brake issues. Tim and Peter Joas were fast and consistent in their older Evo 2 Lancer, recording 2nd and 3rd fastest times, and they'd be rewarded with 3rd outright in Heat 1. But they didn't make it into Heat 2 and were out. JJ Hatton and Nathan Long were off to a slow start, but quickly improved, finishing Heat 1 in 2nd place, scoring valuable championship points. But it was Tim Wilkins and Jim Gleeson who were flying in the Lancer Evo 7. They started with a 2nd in Stage 1 and then backed that up with 2 stage wins to take top points in Heat 1. Heat 2 was not kind to Hatton. He suffered diff failure in Stage 7, and despite attempting to fix the issue in service, it wasn't to be, and they scored no points for Heat 2.
I had to pull over there, it's all over the place. Just spinning out, won't grab any gears, no drive out of it, so I reckon the rear diff's gone completely. So it's all over. The curse of the Irish again.
The outright and Heat 2 results were identical, with Brinkman coming in 3rd, despite continuing brake problems.
200, turn left.
Tom Clarke and Ryan Preston were 2nd outright in the Evo 9 Lancer. They won Stage 5 and Stage 7 and were never out of the top 3 for Heat 2. But it was Tim Wilkins who would win the event, and with 4 stage wins, it was obvious he'd be a force to be reckoned with in the championship for 2018.
Absolutely stoked, couldn't have had a better day, not any problems at all, just getting a feel for the new car and got more and more confidence, so yeah, we had a great day.
In 2-wheel drive, Andrew and David Travis were stamped their authority on the event in the Nissan Gazelle. But their win in 2-wheel drive was not nearly as impressive as their 4th outright result against the 4-wheel drives in the top 3. But for now, we're going to head to round 2 of the championship, deep in the Victorian High Country. The 2nd round of the MTA New South Wales Rally Championship took place in the beautiful Meadow Valley. This round would be combined with the Victorian Championship and consists of only 5 stages. With Glenn Brinkman missing the event, the rally would be a battle between JJ Hatton and Tom Clarke. Clarke would win the first stage by 16 seconds, taking an early lead. But the very next stage, Hatton would fight back, winning the stage by a slender 3-second margin. But with the first 2 stages making up Heat 1, it was Clarke's victory. Victorians Ben and Kathy Hayes were struggling to match the pace of their New South Wales rivals, but managed to finish Heat 1 in 3rd. Tim Wilkins' tyres were not right for the slippery conditions, and with a few moments in the first 2 stages, he was 4th at the end of Heat 1. Heat 2 was made up of the final 3 stages of the rally, and once again Clarke and co-driver Ryan Preston dominated. They won Stage 3 and Stage 5 to take the top spot in Heat 2 and also win the rally.
We had one of those events that doesn't happen very often. Pretty much everything went right, really. They didn't know what to expect. I've never raced against any of the guys down here, and look, you get the word that a lot of them are pretty fast. And look, we were coming down here just to show a bit of presence from New South Wales, and look, I think we did that pretty well.
JJ Hatton and Nathan Long won stage 3, but suffered a puncture in the final stage. They'd drop over a minute in time, but still managed to retain third in Heat 2 and come away with second outright. Wilkins, meanwhile, had a better run in Heat 2, finishing second. The heat result enough to elevate him one spot into third outright. Thomas Dermody and Owen Moynihan were extremely quick all day, the conditions suiting the RS Ford Escort. Fourth outright, a just reward for a great drive. They'd also win both the two-wheel drive category and the East Coast Classic Rally Series. Round 3 of the championship was the Border Rangers Rally in the far north of the state and shared around with the Queensland State Championship. However, the New South Wales scoring system allows anyone entered to score points, so the New South Wales teams would go head-to-head with some of Queensland's best, like Ian Menzies in an Evo, Melinda Bergman in yet another Evo, and Marius Swart in a VW Polo S2000. And this event is pace noted, and JJ Hatton loves pace notes, and having seen the stages, he's likely to be cautious.
Fastest roads I've ever come across, fastest roads I will ever drive. Never been up here before, changing tyre patterns as well to a close pattern I've never used before, so it is super, super fast. And it's one of them, if you make a mistake here, it's off, big time off. So I think my normal driving style is definitely not going to work here.
But JJ and co-driver Nathan Long would take the first stage win. Tom Clarke and Ryan Preston would win stage 2 in their Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9. And then remarkably, the third stage would be a three-way tie between Glenn Brinkman, Tom Clarke and JJ Hatton, with Hatton maintaining a 1-second lead after 4 stages. But Brinkman was about to go on a charge, winning every one of the second pass over the 4 stages and convincingly winning Heat 1. Tim Wilkins had dramas in the first heat and didn't even get to the start. He needed to make the best of Heat 2 so he could maintain a decent position in the championship. Consistent times, including an equal second outright in stage 9, would see him finish the second heat in 4th. Marius Swart was the best of the Queenslanders. He had a faultless run, but couldn't quite match the pace up front, and he finished the rally 5th outright, taking a nice amount of New South Wales points. Melinda Bergman was another Queenslander pushing hard, her 5th in Heat 2, handing her 7th outright. Winning the two-wheel drive category and once again finishing 4th outright was the classic Ford Escort of Tom Dermody and Owen Moynihan. With results like this, they could easily upset the four-wheel drive teams for the overall championship lead. But the battle for Heat 2 points and the outright rally win was a 3-horse race, with Hatton really wanting his first win in the Evo 9 Lancer. He was second quickest in stage 9 and disappointingly could only muster second in the heat and had to settle for second outright. In the White Wolf Racing Lancer, Clarke won stage 10, and this would be enough for him to equal with Hatton at the end of Heat 2. His overall time saw him finish 3rd outright.
50, 7 left, 50.
But once again, Brinkman would dominate. With Harvey Smith calling the notes, he'd win 3 of the 4 Heat 2 stages, winning Heat 2 and taking the top spot on the podium for the rally. In all, Brinkman took 8 stage wins from the 12-stage event.
We were just saying it's like a bit like golf. You have one good hole and you think you're a star, and we felt pretty good all day. So it was good. Good game of golf. We had a couple of non-starts in the last couple of events, so it's been good to sort it out and have no problems. Got back to the old car.
We head to Batemans Bay on the New South Wales South Coast for the next rally, and whilst Tom Clarke leads the championship, he'll be missing the Rally of the Bay, so the championship is still well and truly open for anyone to win. The beautiful Batemans Bay in the Eurobodalla Shire welcomed one of the largest fields of rally cars entered in a state round for some time. It's a popular event amongst drivers with a pace note or a blind route chart option. And there were a whole lot of teams we haven't seen this year here to take on an MTA New South Wales Championship round. Adrian Coppin was back in his Lancer and had one of his longer-term co-drivers, Tim Batten, sitting alongside in the co-driver's seat. Despite a good start, the team retired before the running of the night stage. Another familiar face we saw at the Rally of the Bay, but hadn't seen in the championship so far, was Mick Patton. His co-driver Bernie Webb had entered the previous round with Tim Wilkins, but Patton was being very particular about the events he was entering.
It's been a while since I've competed against some of these guys that were mates of mine from the ARC days, so yeah, it was a big lure for me to get down here. I've MacGyvered lots of stuff at home to make it. So yeah, we're really looking forward to it. It should be great fun.
Unfortunately, issues forced them to withdraw at the end of stage 4. Gavin Croker was entered in his older Lancer Evo 3 and managed to bring home a very credible 6th outright. A great result in his first rally since a big crash at this event 2 years ago. But the big news was Richie Dalton and Dale Moscott. They were entered in a Skoda. These cars aren't eligible for the championship, but they did manage to win the rally outright. They just don't get any points.
Flat, 4 left plus.
In two-wheel drive, we'd see Ben Barker and Damien Long win the class by over a minute. They drive the wheels off the classic BMW 320i to finish the event in 5th outright. With Tom Clarke absent from this event, the championship race at the Bay would be between the 3 Lancers of JJ Hatton, Glenn Brinkman and Tim Wilkins. Wilkins was quick in Heat 1 and had elected the non-pace note option. He scored maximum points in Heat 1 but crashed out in Heat 2. Chris Higgs and Damon Nicoli had decided to use this event for some testing in their Lancer Evo 6. They were setting consistent top 3 stage times and finished 4th outright, stealing valuable points from the series regulars. Michael Harding and James Thornburn were doing the same, stealing points for the MTA New South Wales Championship. They managed the fastest time in stage 4 and went on to take the points for 3rd outright. From a championship points perspective, it was JJ Hatton battling it out for the win. He was the quickest over 3 stages and looked smooth and fast in a car sporting new colours. He'd crashed on the second day at the Border Rangers rally, which didn't actually form part of the championship, so he needed a few new panels. Hatton finished 2nd place outright here at the Bay, with a points haul that would put him to the top of the championship leaderboard. But the rally win went to Glenn Brinkman and Harvey Smith yet again. In another brilliant drive, they won 5 of the 9 stages and looked unbeatable. Having missed round 2, this was an important event for them to gain points in the only rally on the championship calendar to feature a night stage.
Yeah, awesome. Good night stage. I haven't done a long night stage for 12 years, so good. Yeah, it was great, huh? That was good. We just had to get through there for a couple of little problems, but yeah, we're having a ball.
With the rally separated into pace notes and blind, there were 2 podiums for outright placings. Over on the championship point score, it's the best 10 heat results from the 12 that count, meaning Hatton and Dermody will need to drop points. And with 2 rounds to go, it could get very interesting. The sunny corner forests just east of the iconic township of Bathurst would host round 5 of the MTA New South Wales Rally Championship Series. Tom Clarke was absent from the previous round, so he knows a good result at this event is essential to win the series.
Today is crucial for us. Realistically, we have to win today, I think, to have any shot in the championship. We can't make any errors.
3, 2.
But for Clarke, stage 2 was a disaster.
Oh. Shaft.
He was out, scoring no points and dashing any chance at a championship win. For local Bathurst competitor Ron Moore, could local knowledge help his chances?
Oh, look, I don't think the local knowledge is going to come into it around here at all. Everybody knows Sunny Corner's rough, so we'll just see how these guys with the fast machinery handle what's about to get thrown at them.
He was inside the top 5 all day and maintained 4th outright throughout the rally. In the two-wheel drive category, Michael O'Hagan and Michael Benson were finally on top in their Mark II Ford Escort. They'd had a series of issues throughout the season so far, and to finally win the two-wheel drive category was a great achievement. So once again, the battle for the podium would come down to a race between three Lancers. JJ Hatton, who was leading the championship, Glenn Brinkman in an Evo 9, and Tim Wilkins in the older Evo 7. Wilkins was desperate to have a win here after a disappointing finish to the previous rally. He needed the points if he was to win the championship. And he was off to a great start, setting the second fastest stage times on the first two tests. He then went on to set top 3 times in the remainder of the stages to finish the rally third outright. JJ Hatton had a very poor start.
Does the launch control hold the red limit? It's not, but it's not hitting the limit, is it?
But then threw caution to the wind and attacked every stage. This approach paid dividends, winning the final 4 stages and taking the Heat 2 victory. But the 7th place in stage 1 would mean he'd have to settle for second outright. Glenn Brinkman was once again fast from the very beginning of the rally. He took the win in the first 3 stages by big margins, taking the Heat 1 victory and scoring maximum points. He was second quickest on the following pair of stages and then third quickest in the final 2. His big margin in Heat 1 handing him the rally victory. There are a few new faces here at Bathurst, including Paul and Sean Newman in a Lancer Evo 4. We also saw Stephen Arthur and Blair Halberg in a Lancer Evo 9. And it was great to see the classic Volvo of Peter Ewing and Anna Ritson knocking at the door of the two-wheel drive category. They finished second in class and a very credible 8th outright. There's just 1 round left to go and the championship is far from decided. With the final round on some of the fastest roads in the country, the battle is going to be worth the watch. The New South Wales town of Kuma was the destination for the last round of the MTA New South Wales Rally Championship. The focus for 3 drivers was winning the rally and the championship. With wet weather predicted, crews headed for the first stage, where Glenn Brinkman would stamp his authority on the event with the first stage win. He and co-driver Harvey Smith would follow that up with a win in stage 2. There are a couple of new teams here at the Monaro stages. Tristan Kent in a Lancer Evo looking to take points from the series regulars.
Goes right, 200.
He was second quickest in the first few stages and after stage 3 was up to second outright. Tom Clarke and Ryan Preston were still pushing hard in this event despite having very little chance of a good result in the series. They wanted to go out with a rally win. JJ Hatton was not off to a good start. He could afford to drop 1 heat, but with a broken driveline, he'd be out of the rally before the end of Heat 1. Another newcomer to the series for 2019 at the Monaro stages was Richard Shimon and Katie Fletcher in yet another Mitsubishi Lancer. Both of these competitors have been part of the series in previous years, so they were immediately fast. They were third after 3 stages. But then the heavens opened and Tim Wilkins suffered the worst of the downpour in stage 5. He could only manage 18th outright on the stage, putting him back into 8th overall. His chances of winning the series gone.
Down the gears. Oh, stop. Oh. What the f***?
Tom Clarke was struggling, with a few visits into the scenery not helping his cause.
Down. It won't go down. Yep, there you go.
But with the amount of water and rain, organisers were forced to abandon the rally, in effect cancelling Heat 2. So with just 5 of the 10 stages completed, the rally was over. In two-wheel drive, Tom Dermody and Owen Moynihan were once again the best of the best, even winning one of the wet stages in the classic Mark II RS 1800 Escort. They'd had a sensational season, finishing the championship in 4th. Shimon and Fletcher's performance over the wet stages was impressive, and they were rewarded with 3rd outright. Tristan Kent was also driving on the limit, and his perseverance in the tricky conditions also paid off.
To a crest, then road goes left, don't turn left.
He came 2nd outright in the event.
That's in 500. The call is crest, then road goes left.
Wilkins and Jim Gleeson's outright result wasn't what they'd hoped for, but it was enough for Wilkins to score 3rd in the MTA Championship. Cancelling Heat 2 worked out well for JJ Hatton and Nathan Long. Despite not scoring a single point, they were runners-up in the MTA New South Wales Championship.
You know, I was trying to win the championship. I didn't do it, but like it is my first time trying, and it's my first time doing blind rallying competitive. So I think we gave it a good crack, and it was great fun. And to get 2nd is still a big achievement. So I'm very happy with it, like, you know. And I'd like to thank everybody who helped me along the way, I suppose.
But the rally would be won by Glenn Brinkman and Harvey Smith in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, despite having brake issues throughout the day.
Yeah, pretty happy about that. Yeah, I think they did well to keep the rally together, actually. You know, 5 stages. We lost 5 stages, but yeah, it's a top event. Should always be a New South Wales state event. I look forward to coming back and seeing what the other ones were like.
For Smith, there's no doubt he's happy with the outcome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I've never won a rally before this year, and I've won 5 in a row now, so it's outstanding, really. I can't believe it. Fantastic year, yeah. It's been a lot of hard work. We've had a ball, and you know what? The competitors that we compete against has been fantastic all year.
It was a fast and yet wild at times drive from a team that had set the benchmark all year. With the win came the championship honours. They were now the 2018 New South Wales Rally Champions. Let's check out the final results for the Kosciuszko Automotive Monaro Stages Rally. Well, there you have it. What a fantastic year. Some of the best driving the country has seen, with different conditions, surfaces and weather thrown into the mix. The final scoreboard shows how close the competition was as we get ready to do it all again in 2019. Another 6 rounds will challenge drivers in the coming year, with a new rally to the north of the state thrown into the mix. We'll also see the National Capital Rally back on the calendar. So from the team at Rally New South Wales, we'll see you all again in 2019.